Hi, and welcome to Dos Gatos Forge. I'm Joshua States, the knife maker in residence, and today's video is going to be a little bit different than our normal video. This isn't going to be a how-to video. This is going to be more of a show and tell video. It's a show and tell of a recent project I took on as a commission for a nonprofit organization that I used to work for. I used to volunteer for the Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association. This is a backcountry search and rescue group right here in the Phoenix area in Maricopa County was their entire area that they served, although they often did go serve in other counties in Arizona, but primarily their work is in the Central Arizona area. Now, I volunteered for that organization from roughly late 1995 to 2003. I had a great time, great bunch of guys, and Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association, abbreviated CAMRA, asked me recently to make a commemorative knife for their 50th anniversary. So when I set about designing this knife, of course I asked them what they were looking for, but I also wanted it to be a very symbolic knife. You see, I've spent a lot of time looking at a really cool group of folks. It's called the Arctic Fire presentations. Dave Stevens is a magnificent bladesmith who hosts this thing and puts it on, and he gets bladesmiths from all over the world, great names: Jake Pounding, J. Arthur Luce, Owen Bush, Peter Floraniak, and they make these incredible blades. But one of the things that watching these videos is that the blades they make are always very symbolic. They're more like an ancient artifact, and they're covered in symbolic meaning. They're soaked in it. So I really wanted to take that sort of a concept and apply it to this CAMRA knife. So I'm going to show the knife to you now, and I'm going to go through all of the symbolism. So here is the knife. And we'll start off with the discussion about CAMRA, the organization. We had the name etched into the front of the stainless steel guard, and the dates that are important here: 1969 when it was founded, and 2019 its 50th anniversary. The blade itself is about a 6-inch long drop point field use blade in a 4-bar Damascus pattern that is it's a loose variation of the Turkish twist. It's a very bold pattern here, designed to look like a topographic map. For anybody who's ever been out in the backcountry and used a topographic map to find your way around, you'll recognize the swirls and the valleys and the hills. And that's the first part of the symbolism. The second part of the symbolism, we move into the spacer package. And so working from the back forward, I've got another piece of the blade bar as a big spacer, a primary spacer. And we're just continuing with that theme of the topography. In the center, we have another stainless steel spacer that has been file worked with a rope pattern. So the rope and the symbolism of the rope, for anybody who's ever been in rock climbing, mountaineering, or rescue work, there's something that we call the bond of the rope. And people share the bond of the rope because the rope is what protects us from killing ourselves, basically, or from coming into harm. And there's a belayer and there's a worker, and once you have belayed somebody on the rope and he has belayed you back, you now share the bond of the rope. Then there's the black spacer and the orange spacer. Those are fiber spacers. Those are in there. Those are the team colors, and the generic colors of the mountain rescue workers, the orange and the black spacer. We move on to the main part of the handle. This is desert ironwood. It's a particularly beautifully figured piece of desert ironwood, one of the hardest woods in the desert area, and very popular. It's a protected species of wood in the Sonoran Desert in Maricopa County and Pinal County in Arizona's it lives incredibly long. The 4 pins holding the frame handle together are meant to represent the 4 cardinal points of the compass. So together we have the compass and the topographical map, so people can find their way around in the backcountry. The frame on this, it is a frame handle design, and it's a 0.04 inch thick stainless steel frame that has been file worked in what's called the vine pattern. And the vine pattern has a series of thorns and curves, and anybody who has been hiking in the Arizona desert knows that just about every plant out there is covered with sharp, pointy objects that love to stick into you, your gear, your clothes, etc. So that's the knife. Now let's take a look at the sheath. The sheath is top grain vegetable tanned leather. I work it in a double system. You can either hang it from a traditional belt loop so it hangs a little bit low, or you can hang it high on your waist using the back sheath. You can even wear this one cross draw style, kind of on a diagonal if you wanted to. It's got some leather tooling around the back side. It's got a retaining strap, and it's got some freehand tooling on the front. This is, anybody who's ever been in rock climbing or mountaineering will recognize this imagery as a rope and a figure 8 belay rappel device. This is a rescue aid. It has the 2 ears on it. This is the one that they use when they do technical rescue work. The ears keep the rope from accidentally slipping up over the top and girth hitching around the figure 8, stranding you basically in mid-rappel. It can also be used to pull the brake line around and lock it down and tie yourself off on a rappel in case you were going down to either help a victim stuck to the side of the cliff, or set an anchor in the cliff, or do some other work where you had to stop on rappel and use both hands. So the sheath and the knife together, it's a pretty nice fit. The retaining strap for when you're working your way around and you're out in the field working. That's pretty tight right now, but it holds it in there. And that's the 50th anniversary CAMRA Knife. Hope you enjoyed this. So I hope you've enjoyed this little presentation. It's just something to think about, for you knife makers out there. When you're working on a project, it doesn't just have to be another pretty knife. It can actually have some meaning to what it is you're designing and what it is you're creating. Symbolism, artifacts, these are things that we're creating every day when we make knives. I think it was J. Arthur Luce who said, when he's working on Viking era type blades, he's not creating things that could have been. He's creating things that should have been. I love that quote. So when you're working on your knives, think about what it is you're doing, think about what it is you're putting into it, think about the design and what it means, and who it's for. Because these things are going to be around a lot longer than you are. They're going to be around a lot longer than any of us are. And when they get found later on down the road, somebody may just find that little piece of your spirit worked into your blade. Thanks. Keep grinding. Be safe out there. I'm Josh. Thanks for watching.